Hour. Talk radio with bites. We're Pet Life Radio, the #1 pet radio network. Let's talk pets.
Okay.
And good morning, good afternoon, wherever you happen to be this wonderful morning, at least here in LA. It's gorgeous. Sun shining, clear skies. Nice. It's very nice. And I hope you are enjoying some good weather wherever you are. Hope your pets are doing well. I hope you are doing well. I know I'm certainly doing well. You're here live with me for the next 30 minutes here on Pet Life Radio's Ask the Vets with Dr. Jeff. And the basis of our show is to talk pets. It's talking about your pets. It's talking about other people's pets. So if you have any questions, anything you want to talk about, anything that pops up in your heads, anything that you are afraid to ask, you can get me a number of ways. Number one, the good old-fashioned way, give us a call at 877-385-8882. Once again, 877-385-8882. You can also just send me a note right here on PetLifeRadio.com. You scroll down to Ask the Vets with Dr. Jeff, and there's a place you can actually type in a question. And the best way yet is to join us here live on Google Hangouts. There is a link waiting for you. Specifically, it has your name on it on PetLifeRadio.com. Ask the Vets with Dr. Jeff. You scroll down and you will see a link and you can join us. Just click on it and we can see you here live with your pet. And you can ask away, talk about it, anything you'd like to talk about. We would like to thank our show sponsor, at least our new sponsor, and that is Paw Fumes products. Those are products that are sort of developed with me. You can trust them because I put my name on it, and it's great stuff. It's amazing grooming and wellness solutions for your pets. They are available online at www.pawfumepremium.com. We have stuff. We have great stuff. My favorite pick. Basically, what we're trying to do is give you veterinary quality that you otherwise can only find at a vet hospital, but you can get it online, order directly from pawfumepremium.com. And they are fantastic. They last longer. The scents are the most unbelievable, thus the name Paw Fumes. I sort of teamed up with a company that was making sense for both humans and pets called Paw Fume. And they make a lot of perfumes out there for people. And I really love their smells. We said, you know what? I have great products. Why don't we put the two together? So my top products that I just love are my Skin and Coat Emollient Spray. That's kind of a spray that if you have dry skin, you're going to put cream on every day. Well, what do you do for dogs with dry skin? Yes, we're going to give them essential oils. We're going to do fatty acids. We're going to do, bathing, making sure they don't have any infections. But we also want to moisturize the skin and coat. This is a great way to moisturize. Also, we have a great first aid spray. And that is most of the things we apply. Have steroids. You can have an antibiotic, antibacterial. There's some good things. But this is soothing at the same time. It sort of takes some of the pain and irritation away. Smells amazingly good. It lasts for several days. I still recommend you put it on every day, but it's really great. And lastly, my ear cleaner is the bomb. Same formula that I had when I had a line in Petco years ago, the #1 selling product, ear cleaner in Petco. So that's pretty darn good. So now it's available to you under my new label, which is Paw Fumes by Dr. Jeff Werber. And it is really great stuff. So go online to www.pawfumepremium.com. If you have any questions about the products or you want to know more, anytime, you just give me a call. Or you can just send me an email here to Dr. Jeff at PetLifeRadio.com. So, as you know, I love to start my show. I sort of peruse the news, see what's going on in the world, in the pet world, just to help you stay better educated. In the meantime, if there's something that pops up, something you want to talk about, you can just give me a call right here, 877-385-8882. So this is interesting because here we talk about so many people are promoting natural and herbal. Well, guess what? There are some natural and herbal products that are not safe for our pets. For example, things like tea tree oil, pennyroyal oil, marijuana and some of the cannabinoids, and I'll explain that in a minute, white willow bark. These all have the potential to be toxic. Now, some of it is dose related, and when it comes to the marijuana and the cannabinoids, that's the big problem. We don't yet know what toxic doses are, and there are so many different varieties out there. It's so hard to differentiate and to determine the strength of those products, those varieties that contain THC. How concentrated is the THC? And therefore, it makes a big difference how much would be safe for a pet. And though I am a big fan, as you know, for example, some of the cannabinoids, CBD, which is the form without THC, so the cannabidiol. But I will tell you that I do agree with some friends of mine. We had one of my colleagues on here as a guest, Dr. Justine Lee, who's a veterinary toxicologist. And until we know what the toxic doses are, it's going to be really difficult to determine what the therapeutic doses are. So until there's more standardization within the industry, my recommendation is speak to your veterinarian. In states where it is legal, they can have a discussion with you, but proceed with caution. Next, more raw food recalls. If I'm not getting my point home that you need to be really, really careful with raw foods. I mean, I don't think there is a week in the last several that I've gone through the AVMA, the American Animal Hospital briefs, and not seen some type of raw food recall. This one, I don't even like the name, carnivore meat. They recall 1 lot each of their Vital Essentials freeze-dried beef toppers and their Vital Essentials beef chub entree. And that's because the FDA detected, I'll go figure, salmonella. Again, you really need to be careful when it comes to some of these raw foods. Here's another warning. And I know that we don't, but when I was in vet school, a lot of my classmates had backyard chickens. They were getting eggs. It was great. But interestingly, you have to make sure that these eggs are cooked well. If you're gonna use the chickens for the meat, you have to make sure they're cooked very well. And before ingesting. The issue is if you treat them just like a household pet, there are many dangers. The pathogens, especially Campylobacter and Salmonella. And so it's very, very, very important that don't think that just because they're in your yard and you know them and you take care of them and they give you eggs every day, that they are free of those pathogens. So be very, very careful. Make sure that you do not eat those eggs raw. A lot of things that people do eating raw eggs. If you think of the Rocky movie, eating those raw eggs, that wasn't a good idea. A raw cookie dough, unless of course you want to get edible, which doesn't have any raw eggs. But no, most raw cookie doughs are going to have eggs. You have to make sure to read ingredients, make sure they're safe. A study showed Rottweilers. Here's interesting. Rottweilers, about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, were one of the top breeds. They were in the top 10. I think they actually made their way up to maybe 11 on the AKC list. They were so popular. I was a Rottweiler doctor. I saw Rotties every single day. And what happened? Now I rarely see them. But interestingly, they are the dogs that are most prone to develop osteoarthritis, males more so than females, and heavier increases the incidence tremendously. So if you are one of those, and by the way, love those dogs. They are fantastic dogs. And if you want a good watchdog, get yourself a Rottweiler. They are menacing. They are fantastic with the family, but they have a heck of a bark. They have a certain look about them, just looks. So I guarantee someone who doesn't know dogs, or even if they do, they're going to see that Rottie in the window and they're going, I'm not going there. I'm going next door. So just know that they're really great watchdogs. But if you're going to have one, everyone has a tendency, and I saw so much of this when they were so popular, they wanted the biggest, baddest, meanest dog on the street. So what happened is they started overfeeding these dogs as puppies. They got too big too fast. They developed a lot of growth-related problems because of it. And anyway, it's genetics. They're going to reach the size they're supposed to reach. And they'll get there when they're supposed to get there. Don't try to speed the process up, because that way you'll avoid problems. And also keep them on the lean side. A Rottie is a Rottie. They're going to be the same menacing look. They don't have to be overweight to accomplish that. So keep them lean. It'll keep their joints healthier. Here's another one. How many of you, just curiously, right? Show of hands. I can see you all. How many of you wash your dog's toys on a regular basis? And the answer, I don't. I may start now, but interestingly, most of the 60% of the dust that we have in our homes is because, obviously, homes with pets is because of the pets. And, they are chewing on these toys. Obviously, there's bacteria all over the place. And then we're touching the toys and we're moving them and then we're eating. And so basically, there's a number of bacteria that can be transferred from their mouths to their food dishes, are touching to their toys. We touch them again. And so here's the recommendation. Especially for young kids, small kids, if you're playing a lot with your dog, moving that grungy toy that you picked up because it's in the middle of the floor and you want to move it, wash your hands. And if the thing looks really grungy, wash it. And if it's a fabric that can be washed, stick it in the washing machine. But we need to be a little bit more conscientious about our pets' toys. Very important. Now, this is a topic that I'm going to hold till the end, and I would love to hear from you. Really, guys, I know you're so many shy people out there, but this is one that I really think needs some discussion. Of course, I'm always prepared to do my own discussing. I'm very good at that, the gift of gab, I would say. But no, it's very important. I would love to hear from you. So, this is really cool. If anyone wants to work in tech, and you don't mind living in Seattle, that's a tough one, I know, Amazon. And you have pets, Amazon is probably, from what I can see, it's the best pet-friendly workplace on the planet. So first of all, they have allowed dogs in since their inception. And they have, listen to this is a great statistic. This is just in Seattle, over 6,000 dogs at their facility at any given time. That's amazing. They are greeted at the front desk with treats. On the 17th floor, they have a patio with water, and also a place where the dogs can go out. They have a little leash-free dog park within the facility. I mean, that's unbelievable. And so, can you imagine, though, another thing, I thought that was pretty amazing. If they have 6,000 dogs at any given time, can you imagine how many employees they have at that facility at any given time? Because I guarantee, even if just, let's look at numbers. Let's assume, and that, those kind of people, a lot of millennials, I'm sure, 60%, because they're the largest growing population, 57% of households have pets, maybe even 65. So you can imagine how many, to have 6,000, you have probably, 9, 10,000 people working there. That's crazy. But I think, that it's something where a lot more companies, I think, should follow suit. And one would think that it detracts from the attention. No, I think it adds to it. I think people are at ease when they can have their pets with them. So I think that's really cool. My hat's off. Thumbs up to Amazon. Now, also this New Law in New Jersey. We talked about some of the problems with trainers and these people providing ancillary services. Well, now in New Jersey, pet groomers are going to need to be trained and licensed. That is something that's so important. Yeah, I heard of a story lately of a dog at one place. I don't want to mention the name because I'm not sure which of the big pet stores it was, but one of the large chains. In the last several months, same location on 2 occasions. I think it happened in New Jersey, which is why I think they are now being very cautious. Dogs went in for a bath and died. Now, come on. There's something going on. There's a mix-up somewhere. I happen to think it's the dryers. It's the attention. I think that any dryers that use heating elements are a tremendous danger. I also know that dogs have jumped off tables and choked themselves because nobody was around, because they decided to take a break while the dog was hooked up on the grooming table. It's human error. It's a case of just like a heart attack, which can happen. Dog in the tub during the bath while it's being bathed. Certain dogs, yes, I've heard those stories, and I can believe it. But I would say the majority of problems like this are human error because of carelessness, and it is just unbelievable to me. So I applaud New Jersey. I would love more states to follow suit, but I think for any ancillary pet service, whether it's training, grooming, even daycare facilities, I think that the owners should have a certain license to be able to conduct the business, should be trained, massage therapists, you name it. I think it's very important. If you disagree with me, join me right here online. Let's talk about it. But I am shocked at the number of accidents and casualties that we see. Now, this is also interesting, and it surprised the heck out of me. And that is that there are a lot of the animals that we, sort of glorify and love. Well, I'm talking wild animals. This is a list. These are the following animals that actually are at high risk of extinction: lions, gorillas, cheetahs, leopards, giraffes, polar bears, tigers, pandas, and elephants. Then when you go on safari, you see all these animals in the wild. We are sort of crowding them out in certain areas, except places where in Africa. So, I wrote a report about this years ago. I was at a reserve in Arizona, and I know people don't like those things, but I got to tell you, they have breeding programs. These animals are kept in habitats that look like their own. They are so well cared for. They are so loved that, I don't disagree. It's not like just a zoo where the dogs are there, people, walking around and gawking at them. Now, this is really, it's almost like it's like being in a great camp where they are loving it because they're well treated. And I think it's a great way to sort of have official breeding programs that can help the species. Because we all would hate these animals to go extinct. And if they do, it's probably our fault. And also, last week I talked about the problem with trying to ban breed-specific laws. Well, the state of Michigan, the Senate just passed a bill banning dog breed-specific ordinances, which includes ownership bans, compulsory neutering bans, though, of course, we all think they should be neutered anyway, but as far as compulsory, muzzling rules, and requirements that owners carry additional liability insurance. They find it unconstitutional, which I agree. As we all know, in our dog world, it's not the dogs, it's the owners. So that's great. Again, hats off to Michigan. That was really great. When we come back, we are going to talk about something that I really want to, it blew my mind. And I hope, and I hope I can hear from you, some of the rescue people out there, maybe some shelter people, but this story is going to blow your minds. I promise. Anyway, don't go away. We'll be right back after these messages.
We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Molly, here's your dinner. Please, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your Cat Tree Tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. CATTREETRAY.com.
It's designerpetsweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit designerpetsweaters.com to order your 4-legged fashions today. Large or small, we fit them all. designerpetsweaters.com.
Calling all pet product manufacturers. Save the date and join us for the 6th annual Retails and Sales Pet Expo coming up on Tuesday, May 1st, 2018 in New York City. The event is a place for pet product manufacturers to meet with buyers and media and groomers and pet influencers. To learn more about this B2B pet product trade show, please visit retailsandsalespetexpo.com. This event is brought to you by Whitegate PR, American Pet Professionals, and Pet Age Magazine.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Liquor Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved LicoChops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system, and dogs love it. Try LicoChops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynovite.
DINOVITE.com.
Hey, cat people. Litter box smells always on your mind? Think about your cat, not the box, with World's Best Cat Litter, the litter that delivers big odor control in a tiny package. World's Best Cat Litter harnesses the concentrated power of corn to trap odors deep inside the litter. Ready to knock out smells and use less litter? Find World's Best Cat Litter at Target, Walmart, and in your local grocery and pet stores.
Begging to hear more of your favorite show? Full episodes of all our shows are available on demand. Go to PetLifeRadio.com to fetch our entire lineup of Possum Pet podcasts. Also, dig us up in iHeartRadio and iTunes. Let's talk pets. Live and on demand, only from Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Okay. And welcome back. You're live with Dr. Jeff Werber here on Pet Life Radio's Ask the Vets with Dr. Jeff. And as I promised, this is a discussion. This is something that's going to blow your minds, as it did mine. And I was so shocked to read this. And here it goes. I'm going to share it with you in all its shocking statistics. It just blew my mind. People affiliated with 86 dog rescue and advocacy groups and shelters in the United States and Canada spent, ready for this, $2.68 million since 2009 to buy 5,761 dogs and puppies from breeders, mind you, from breeders at 2 regulated auctions in Missouri. Now, we know Missouri is one of those states that we have puppy mills. And I just did the math. I took 2.68 million and divided it by 5761. That came to $465.20 per dog. That means they're at these auctions now to buy, spending $465 to buy them. And their logic was, look, we know these dogs are going to end up in the wrong hands somewhere. They may even end up being put to sleep if nobody buys them. So we're at least going to buy them, and we're going to provide them with some good homes. We'll make sure they're spayed and neutered, which they may not if they are sold as puppies through this auction. So I understand, but there are thousands of dogs right now in shelters that can be adopted for $40 or $50 and that are going to end up with the same fate. But with spending $465 on one, that's 10 that you could have saved from a shelter that's already there. And what the other thing that really bothers me, and this is why I kind of agree with the opponents, the critics, and that is by buying these dogs, you are basically encouraging these backyard puppy mill breeders to continue to breed. Because if they know they're going to take it to auction and get $465 a dog, you bet your bottom dollar they're going to keep doing it. But if nobody would buy them, then that would put them out of business. And when you think about, and I have this discussion all the time with the many rescues that I work with, and that is the need to adopt what we call a herd health mentality when working with rescues. Why? Because you can get emotionally attached to any dog. But if you're going to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds or even thousands of dollars to try to fix this one, that's such a sad story associated with it, and it was adopted from so-and-so, and it needed this surgery and that surgery, etc. Yes, you could save a life. But with that same amount of money, you can save 10 or 15 or 20 lives. And one of the rescue groups I talked to, and we've had this discussion before, actually said something very interesting and in a way, very sad. When they go online to try to promote, to raise money for the plight of these animals, the one with the sad story that needs a lot more work attracts more attention and dollars than the ones that are cute and sitting in a shelter somewhere and just need to find a home. Not understanding that if they don't get that home, there's a good chance they'll be put to sleep. And yet the public, the bleeding heart, says, oh my God, that poor dog with the broken legs and this and that and the other, and it needs the heart surgery, whatever. Those are the ones that these rescue groups are able to collect money for. And just to say, we want to walk into a shelter and I need, $400 or $500 so I can pull out 10 dogs. Those are the ones that people don't donate. So really what it boils down to is it's the public perception of how our dollars should be spent to save these dogs. And I think there's a misconception when one thinks or feels better to shove a lot of money into one dog than a little money into many dogs. And that's the problem with this rescue world. And I have this argument all the time with my rescue groups. They want to keep spending and spending and spending, even though the prognosis sucks. And the chances of the pet having a normal life the chances are very low. And yet that's what they want to do. And when I said, why are you doing this? They said, because we cannot collect money to pull a healthy dog out of a shelter. And there's something very wrong with our public perception of help when to donate a couple of dollars to help pull a healthy dog out of a shelter we can find a home in days, something very wrong with that. But worse yet, to spend $465.20 on a dog at an auction in Missouri, where these are puppy mill dogs. And to think that, oh my God, if we don't do it, the dog will be put to sleep. Yeah, it may. But guess what? For that same money, there are going to be that you should have spent instead, there are going to be 10 dogs that are going to be put to sleep. So you really need to think of this world, and the worst thing we can do is support these puppy mill backyard breeders from just spitting out more and more dogs. And if they knew that they're going to get $465 per dog, they're going to keep doing it. So we're not helping this problem at all. So for those rescue groups and those organizations, those shelters that thought they were doing some good, I think they really need to reevaluate what is good. What is good would be to shut these facilities down. And to do that is you just don't support them. And yes, is it going to hurt at the beginning? It definitely will. But you shouldn't, they should have paid only what they would have paid to pull the dog out of a shelter, maybe max $100. Some of the shelters are $70, $75. Most of the shelters, that's to the public. Most of the shelters that work with the rescue groups regularly will discount the dogs to $40 or $50. So very important. If you think you are helping, reevaluate. And the best thing to do, obviously, is to not support that practice. But if you are, at least do it so you're not spending any more than you would have if you were pulling a dog that is on death row at a local shelter or a dog pound or a rescue, etc. So anyway, that's all we have time for. If you want to talk more about this, if you have a different perspective about this, if you are in the rescue world and you want to add something one way or the other, I would love to hear it. I think it's a great topic for discussion. Once again, I want to thank PawFumePremium.com for sponsoring our show. If you want some really good products, go online to PawFumePremium.com. And if you always can get a hold of me at drjeff@PetLifeRadio.com. And of course, here on Sunday mornings, 9 in the West, noon in the East, and either 10 or 11, depending wherever you are in the central part or in the Mountain States. And we would love to have you join us here on Pet Life Radio's Ask the Vets with Dr. Jeff. Have a great week, everybody. Again, I love controversy. So if you have something controversial, send it my way. Otherwise, we'll see you here next week. Have a great week.